Other interesting political news, you have DeSantis giving an interview to explain the differences between him and Trump. Now, this is another little video posted by the DeSantis War Room on the Twitter, or I guess nowadays it's just called the X, which, let me know in the comments, is that a marketing fail for Elon Musk to change the company name to, he's had that domain, he's loved that name ever since he started the businesses and his entrepreneurial journey back in the day, and this is his dream child to have all the apps built into one. But do you think he should have just kept it as Twitter? You don't even tweet anymore, you just post, and the bird is gone. But nevertheless, this is from the DeSantis War Room, and the quote before the video is, quote, age aside, what's the biggest difference between you and Donald Trump, unquote. And it looks like to be an interview with ABC News Live. And without further ado, we should play. And if you do have suggestions for software, for picture-in-picture production software, I would greatly appreciate it. I've tried a couple out, as previously explained, if you're watching the long format of the video, and I've had nothing but issues with the camera crashing. When the only way it will work is if I use a very low-resolution, rudimentary camera, which, unfortunately, I want to try to keep the quality increasing rather than decreasing. So if you have comments and suggestions, greatly appreciate the feedback.
Debate is 1 week from today. You're going to be on that debate stage. It doesn't seem likely that Donald Trump will be. Age aside, what's the biggest difference between you and Donald Trump?
Well, first, he owes it to people to be there. He owes it to people to make the case and to defend his record. You can't be just not showing up to these things. So he does owe it to that. Look, in terms of, we've got a lot of differences. I mean, he was born to great wealth. I'm a blue-collar kid that had to work minimum wage jobs to get where I was. He did obviously a lot young in business. I volunteered to serve in Iraq and serve in the military. I could serve 2 terms. He would be a lame duck on day 1. I ran 16 points better than him in Florida in my most recent race than he did in his most recent race. I've also delivered on these America First policies more than I think anybody in the country, and would have a much better chance of actually delivering all this as president. So I think that there's a lot of things that people can look at, but I'm going to be there. We're going to talk about the country's future. We know the country is in a state of decline. We've got to reverse that decline, and we need to restore this country to the greatness it deserves. Everybody who wants this job has a responsibility to step up there and make their case.
What are your thoughts? Kinda. It's one of those things where here's, in my 3 cents, and it's, moving on the political chessboard, one of the biggest things you really need to emphasize is, I can win. That's what he should be saying. He should bring up the simple fact, in 2020, Trump lost. I can't, that's what he needs to be saying, I can win. The other points are good, and on an emotional rhetoric level, they will resonate with some folks, don't get me wrong, but, Trump was born wealthy, but he also built an empire. Granted, he got a big loan from his father, but certainly it took some skill to build that huge empire that he had in a myriad of different revenue streams. And again, I think it's good for DeSantis to lean into the veteran angle. That is a unique experience, I believe, in terms of a lot of the other nominees for the Republican nominee. They don't have that background. So that's good. I would think that would be a good one. But you just come out and say the simple fact, Trump lost in 2020. I can win. That's what he needs to emphasize. Now, will people believe him? That's the other issue. The kind of cliche, but I always say he's done some great things in Florida. He has a great track record, but he needs a couple cans of Red Bull or some copious amounts of caffeine to really get energized. Because he's had that issue when he gets in front of the camera before, which is why I partially think if you look at his particular social media, they do have a couple videos on his profile or his individual Twitter or X profile, but it's a lot of still images. Because I think for marketing purposes, he looks better in photo versus video. And let's see what the comments say. In terms of going viral, it got about 123,000 views in one day. So not great, a little bit better than average. And his personal profile has been doing a little better, getting a couple hundred views. A couple 100,000 views, as opposed to a couple of weeks ago when is a lot lower. We're talking 20 to 30,000 views, 40,000 views. So they're increasing their capabilities on social network. Of course, we can always debate how much does that translate into votes. You have some politicians who are roasted on social media 24/7. Ted Cruz comes to mind, but he kept getting reelected. So again, there's different people. Not everyone tunes into social media. There's a little bias there. But what are people saying about this particular response? Looks like one of the first top responses is from DigiSass, presumably a very sassy person. Now this person says, quote, Trump was President Ron. We know his record and it's better than yours. This person got 3 likes out of 242 views. You also have someone by the name of Low Carb Studies, which is a good thing to study. This person has an article from The Guardian, which the headline says, DeSantis falls in 5th in New Hampshire poll in latest campaign reverse. That person got 11 likes and 308 views. Now, interestingly enough, it looks like someone responded to him, got this equal number of likes, someone by the name of Neptune, which they do have a pretty appropriate campaign, or in this case, profile picture, which is just the planet. Makes sense. This person responded to the Guardian article saying propaganda, and he references Ron Polling. I wonder what that's about. But A+ for marketing. You presumably know what they do. Ron Polling says 2024 New Hampshire Republican primary. DeSantis in at 38%, Nikki Haley at 17%, Chris Christie at 14%, Ramaswamy at 10%, Burgum at 7%, Trump at 9%, Scott at 4%, Pence at 1%. And they note that it looks like a poll of 1,800 users or 1,800 registrations. What do you call people who take a poll? 1,850 people who have a lot of time on their hand. And it was taking place between September 8th and September 14th. Margin of error or party affiliation, 31% Republican, 29% Democrat, 40%. Is that really 40% independent? And the margin of error was plus or minus 2.26%. So, again, it's all about the data. And in that specific poll, it sounds like they're polling quite a lot of Democrats. Well, for the Republican primary, more often an overwhelming majority of the time, presumably you're having Republicans go vote for that. So I don't know if that's an apples to apples. It doesn't seem like an apples to apples comparison, but we scroll down, we see other comments coming in, and let's see. Someone by the name of Willie saying, quote, biggest difference is Trump's winning and Ron's 5th now, unquote. And this person got 10 likes and 327 views. Interestingly enough, let's see. Somebody by the name of Judy says, quote, you're right. If he's running for president, we want to hear you debate, unquote. This person got 11 likes and 181 views. So, I'd say about maybe 50-50 in the comments. And he does bring a good point. Trump may are arguing he should get on that debate stage. Many people speculate there won't even be a presidential debate for the 2024 election. Either they're guessing if Biden makes it to that time, he's either going to say, well, Trump is, he's convicted of all these things. I'm not going to presumably debate someone who has all these allegations against them. Or he'll just note that say, hey, Trump wasn't at the other debates. He didn't show up. Why should I show up now? Which, again, yeah, there's a little merit to that second, or the latter more than the former. The former, he's still innocent until proven guilty, and he's having his days in courts. But the downside in terms of moves on the political chessboard is there's really no upside for Trump doing it. I mean, he's winning most of these polls by double digits. Some coming in at a 30% delta between DeSantis and Trump. So there's not a lot of upside for him to go to the debates. Granted, I think we still need some answers from Trump, specifically his specific articulate game plan of what he's going to do different during this election cycle when there are some things that are consistent. I mean, all odds are it's going to be Trump versus Biden again. So, again, what will he do differently to win this time? Because last time he didn't. And the thing he constantly brings up is it was rigged. And many will agree that the media was certainly rigged. It actually was a poll after the election where they asked people, hey, if you knew about the Hunter Biden thing, would that change your vote? And I believe 10.8% of people polled said yes, they would change their vote based on that alone. That story was suppressed by all the major social media companies before the election when it was leaked. And the CIA or the FBI, one of the 3 other acronyms, they had 51 experts swear that it was just different information. Yeah, those 51 people are also known as liars. But again, what is he going to do differently this time? And in terms of DeSantis, I think he keep highlighting the differences, but I think he needs to highlight the track record of he won Florida, which was an achievement in and of itself, and say how they're going to win. Because at the end of the day, that's what people are looking for. Who's going to win? Let me know in the comments. Do you think this increased your perception of DeSantis, decrease, or about the same? Thank you, everyone, again, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, I know it's ambitious, but we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of September. So if you could click that button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, friendly reminder, we're giving away a free flamethrower with every September purchase at toppingtechnologies.com. See the website for additional details. Also, don't forget to take the time to like and comment. The feedback is greatly appreciated, especially if it's constructive. And again, I'm trying to find a better software to do picture-in-picture for production quality. If you can do that, suggestions are greatly appreciated. Also, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.